Hi everyone, my name's Kate Kalthoff and welcome to a Stamping to Share video. Today I'm going to share with you this really beautiful Starburst card, and it uses the stamp set called Joyful Christmas, and I just discovered it. Well, I mean, it's been in the mini catalog for a while, but I only got it just about a month ago, and I've really enjoyed using it. This is one of the creations that I made, and I'm excited to share with you how to create it. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you're going to need, of course, is a base for your card, and this is Bermuda Bay, and it's cut at 4 1/4 by 11 inches, scored at 5 1/2. And then you'll need a couple of panels. One inside panel cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and then I've just gone and decorated it with a 1/4 inch by 3 3/4 inch strip of glimmer paper, and I'll stamp on the inside here later. And then this is the outside panel decorating the top of your card, and this is cut at 4 by 5 1/4 as well. And then of course, the next thing is you'll want to stamp your flower image from Joyful Christmas onto a piece of Whisper White scrap, and I've gone ahead and cut that out. And that's all very easy. In fact, as long as we are on the easy subject, let's go ahead and just stamp our inside sentiment. So I have Bermuda Bay ink, and I have my sentiment. May the timeless message of Christmas fill your heart and home with joy today and throughout the coming year. I love that sentiment. I've gone ahead, inked it up, and I actually sometimes mark my Clearmount stamps so that I know which is top and which is bottom. So we are stamping it, and it is done. So we're just going to set that aside. All right, the next step is to make our starburst pattern that you see here. So what I do to start with that is you are going to need, if I can grab it here, a 3 1/2 inch by 3 3/4 inch square of Whisper White paper, and you want to mark the middle at 1 7/8. And to help my customers, I always make a little template for them. So this marks the 1 7/8, and I just line it up on the 3 1/2 inch side. And 1 7/8 inch is half of 3 3/4. And so I just do a quick little line up here so we can find the middle of our template. And then we have some designer series paper, and I have strips that are cut at, I have 3 pieces of designer series paper from the Winter Frost designer pack, and they're cut at 1 1/2 by 4 inches, and then you just cut them in a diagonal. It's very easy. You would think you'd use a lot of designer series paper for this, but you really don't. Then what you want to do is put them into kind of a pleasing pattern, and so I kind of like this look, where I'm going to put 3 strips on one side that look like this, and then I start the pattern over. So I'll just go ahead and repeat it just like this, and then we're going to take our excess strips when we cut them off and fill in the corners. So to make it easier for me, I like to put them in 2 piles. So my left side is going to be piled up like this, and the right side of my card will be piled up like this. And that way I know which side to start with. Whoops, I piled it wrong. We want to start this way. So there we go. So now I know that my strips are in the piles that I need to create this card. Then I'm going to go ahead and use snail, and I'm just going to cover the top of my cardstock like this. And we're just going to go ahead and get started. So then the top of the right goes on the right side, and I just line it up next to that line. And then we have the top of the left on the left side, and again just line it up. And then we have our next paper to the right, and I'm keeping this very close to the point, and the reason is because if I don't, then we don't have a lot of room to work with on these corners, and I do want to make sure that the corner is completely covered. So then we're going to go ahead and do this on the right side as well. And then finally, our last piece here, and our last piece here. And my club members got to make this month, and they've been enjoying it so far. I have another club coming up later this week. Then I'm just going to cut off these edges, and I'm saving this one, this bigger one on this side, and then I'm also going to save the bigger one on the other side because we are going to use those to fill in those spaces. So I have the two bigger pieces set aside, and then I'm going to add a little more snail to this corner, and we just fill that in like so. And this one, add a little more snail down here so it sticks good. And then this one just gets filled in like that. And then we just go ahead and finish trimming it out. These Starburst cards are so nice and easy to make. And at first when my customers saw it last night, they were like, oh my goodness, really? We're going to make this? That looks really hard. And then of course it wasn't. And it was really fun and everybody loved it. All right, so here you have it, our finished panel. And now we're just going to go ahead and put this on the Island Indigo panel. And all you have to do, now if we were doing a tall card, we would put it like this. Maybe add a ribbon and then a sentiment down here. But we are not. We are going to make this card go to the side so that this radiates out from the flower that we're going to put in the middle. And here's the silver glimmer paper. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that that lines up so that everything fits nicely onto this card. So all we have to do really is just make sure that our three edges are even. So I like to put this on with glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room so that I can make sure it all fits in place nice. So I'm just going to lightly put that piece there. And that looks like it's going to work. And then a little bit of glue on the back of this panel and fit that right up next to my silver glimmer paper. And when I see that I've got it exactly the way I want it, I just burnish it down and it's ready to go. Now we can put this on the panel on our actual card. And again, I'm just going to use glue. It's just so fast and easy and a very inexpensive option. All right, and then this just goes like this. Beautiful. Now we're ready for our flower, which I will add some dimension to. So I'm just going to flip this over and put some dimensionals on the back. Give it a little bit of height. There we go. Uh-oh. Sometimes dimensionals get the best of me. All right, and then we can just go ahead and we'll just put this so that two of the petals line up with the silver and the Starburst panel. We just want to make sure that this petal over here doesn't extend too far over because we want it to still fit in our envelope. And then the final finishing touch is to take one of our Frosted Finishes brads, and I've got it on a couple of glue dots here. And we can just set that right in the middle. Isn't that beautiful? And then all we have to do next is add our inside panel, which we're going to do with a little bit of snail across the top. We don't need to put snail all over. Just keep it nice and flowing and loose. And here's our card, the front and the inside. Very quick. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Have a great day and thanks for stopping by Stamping to Share. Bye-bye.